Hi everybody! Today I want to share something with you that's not necessarily a journal flip or anything like that, but it is one of my favorite projects to make. Probably because it saves me some money because I haven't had to buy any blank notebook for the sake of scrap noting, I guess, and it's fun to make, and it helps me to reduce the amount of recycling I put out on the regular basis. So what it is, these are just some of the books I made today. It's really a bunch of paper that's only printed on the one side. And it can come from, you know, your junk. It's from junk mail. It could be from things you printed out. I often print out templates and things like that for my craft projects and reports or books or whatever have you. But if you have it printed only on the one side, you can use that for this project. I also often print large formats, and if it's a larger page like this, you will use it in 18 by 17. I typically cut it down to an 8.5 by 11, which is a standard letter size, to make these books. Sometimes I even use coloring pages. That's also, again, one-sided. And I had a slew of school notes from way back when I went to college. And so I used that today to make a few of these books for the upcoming school year, because I am back in school. So the way you do this is you take any size sheet of paper, and it doesn't, sometimes you get paper that's only like half blank, like there will be some kind of literature up here and in the back side, but like the bottom half is empty. I don't know, it was really weird. I save those as well and make a smaller booklet like this, where I just fold that in half and you have this tiny size, quarter size. But essentially you fold it, and when you have about a handful, like so, an inch and a quarter thick, actually, you start to bind the book with spirals, and you will end up with something like this. And this is great because those folds, because I puncture the holes into the loose end of the folded paper. I end up with a little pocket like this, which you can staple at the bottom or tape at the bottom and rip in the middle or whatever, and you will have a pocket to store loose ends, pamphlets, whatever you want to keep at the time. What I use to bind the books is a little binding tool called the cinch. This is made by a company called We Are Memory Keepers. Really easy to use machine. Excuse me. And when I bought it, I bought a bunch of these wires. They come in the white and the plain wire color. I bought 150. They gave me a couple extra. I actually didn't think that I would go through all of them in a couple of years because it was a lot. But I worked with a company that had a design team, and we printed so many proofs and copies and instructions and booklets and all of these things that it was ridiculous. The amount of paper that was being printed and thrown into recycling, the recycling did not come often enough to pick it up for us. And the design director had bought a book that was exactly like this. But it had a hardcover, and basically it was just a bunch of folded pages that was bound like this, and she loved it. So what I did was I took a bunch of those papers and bound them and gave it to everybody in the office, and that is what I continued to make with just my own waste, and I made 8 today. These books take such a little time because the cinch does most of the work for you. I think a book like this book literally took me about an hour and a half, hour from start to finish, starting with the cutout and so on. It took me about an hour. So it's a fantastic little project to do on a day where you're not really feeling that creative mojo, and you can watch a couple of episodes of your favorite TV show. In my case, I made 8, so imagine I actually caught up quite a bit watching my show. And what I use these for is literally, I use them to write down whatever I need to remember. And then once the need has come and passed, I rip out the page. So this one, which I'm using right now, has all of these notes. Now, what I do is these notes I took watching a video about orchids, because I'm trying to develop some green thumb, and because orchids are so pretty. But anyways, I took notes on them, and I'm going to transfer it somewhere so that it's a little bit more comprehensive. I just jotted notes as I watch them, and then I will transfer them. And as I transfer them, I'm just going to tear the pages out and throw that out into the recycling. So whatever is in here hasn't been organized, or it hasn't been transferred. I use the same technique with school notes. I've made 8 today, like I said, and 3 of them I will probably use for school, where I'm going to be jotting down notes during lecture, and then during my long commute home or on my break, I'm going to just review them and try to organize them in some kind of cohesive manner before transferring to my notebook. I find it really challenging to write organized and cohesive notes during lectures, and those notes are so important when you have to study for exams. I do want to be able to understand what I wrote and what I meant when I have to study with them. So that's what I intend to use them for. And another great thing about this size is after you use it to bind a book of this size, you will always have a little bit left. This or this. And what I do is, if I don't have a lot of these, then I fold what I have into quarters like this. And then I either bind the book this way or I bind it this way, so that I have a smaller size book, because I often, I bought this so many years ago because I haven't had to buy one for so long. But this size of notebook is super handy to have with you, to jot for the same purposes, to jot down ideas and to remember things and whatever have you, and keep yourself organized. Except this method is definitely economical because you don't have to buy anything and you're reducing your own waste. So it feels very good. I personally think it's a fantastic investment, and I just want to share this with you. And maybe you'll be inspired to do the same. Having said that, like I said in the beginning, this book is commercially available. Somebody does make them in the very same way. So, you know, the Macinches, I think it was like $80 or so. I've made about 100 machines with it. So I guess that makes that, you know, I like to think that I've saved definitely triple the amount than I spent. So maybe that will inspire too. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!